He shoots a quick glance at Ian.
In either case, is that possibly your way of saying you're finally willing to help with Kurtz and my project? Andrew. That's quite a creative performance you put on. Some serious deduction work. Andy. Please don't call me that. We should leave. Should we? How come? The fun's just beginning. This isn't Spencer that we're talking to. Pardon?
Pardon? French?
French.
Deep breath. I have prepared for this. So far, so good.
Yeah, it's going great.
I'm not going to do anything to either of you, Ian. If I was your poltergeist, I wouldn't be standing visible in broad daylight with 100 people around now, would I? That's not how those guys do. In fact, how about this? Right now, it is the year 2010. I am Spencer Swain, college student, age 22, single, you know, as opposed to any other kind of dead schmuck.
Am I possibly missing some context here? Don't move.
Every morning when I wake up, everyone behaves like I wasn't there the previous day. And everything I've done throughout the day kinda like goes back to how it was before I'd done it. That's the gist of it. That's the context. Sorry it sounds stupid.
No. I am afraid I don't follow.
That is a genuinely new face.
Yeah.
Like Andrew, we've now perturbed Andrew in a way beyond even the gist of everything that happened so far, which makes sense because even at the beginning of the game, when he should have been more confused, we found out that he was being ordered around in a new way more than he should have, and even found us on purpose.
The time we first met, do you remember it? The time when we first met?
Of course I do. It was the day after the murder at the 7-Eleven.
That's...
wrong. The call history on my phone says that we've been friends for much longer than that. Is that what you're going to say? Ian's shoulders soften, but he maintains a white-knuckle grip on the table below. I think I might be in the clear. I can't run away. I'm covered in pumpkin gore.
This was part of my master plan.
That's why they call them
If you try to run away now, you're gonna slip on all the pumpkin innards.
You're gonna make that weird percussion bongo noise when you run.
Jesus,
You don't know what I am. Don't worry about it.
I do.
That's not why I'm here. It takes some effort to maintain a neutral expression. I've never seen Andrew like this. His eyes are darting back and forth between us like he's trying to gauge which of us is more insane.
I see.
You do?
Yes, I do see.
I wanted to point out the additional detail with their... I pointed out their jackets and stuff like that, but also Andrew's wearing gloves, and Ian's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a fun detail.
He's prepared.
Yeah.
I also think it's really funny that Andrew still wears a tie to all of this.
Yeah. Andrew can get away with murder. He's that type.
Yeah.
He's too prepared.
I haven't decided...
Don't turn your back on him.
I don't know. Whatever. Never mind. I have decided to not share that idea because I didn't know what I was going to say. Yes, I do see. Very clever. We really ought to have a chat about how you go about presenting things.
He picks a tissue off the table and begins wiping his hands.
Let's save it for a later date.
I don't know why he's wiping his hands though, because they drew him with gloves.
He has gloves, huh? Maybe they forgot.
Yeah.
Might have written the script before they did the art. I don't know.
Yeah.
In either case,
Yeah, pro tip, cockhole, write it so he's sliding off his gloves. Peeling off his gloves, that's the gross word for it.
Why are you here then? How may we assist?
We need to make out. We need to remake the events that happened before I died. Quick, we need to make out by this tree.
Are you sure about that, Spencer? I don't remember us making out in this tree.
No. You end up in the fucking C dimension. You're like, no. Andrew insists on buying us lunch from the expensive sandwich shop so he can get himself a hoity-toity iced latte thing. That's not
fucking Starbucks, dude.
That's not hoity-toity. That's an iced latte.
That's Starbucks.
You mean coffee with milk and ice? I make an iced latte every morning.
He makes toast.
He doesn't. I guess that is hoity-toity by him. I see you've gone to a place where you buy edible things.
Oh, that thing has calories in it.
I've been working for this loaf for the past month. We walk side by side with him in the middle. Each of us has a sandwich in one hand and a cup in the other.
Wow, like a gang.
I taste bread, ham, some pickle, yellow mustard for sauce. Can't complain since I didn't pay for it, but in what world could this have possibly cost anywhere near $8?
That was like $100 in 2010.
It's $100 in 2010 money.
Yeah,
that's a whole video
the $5 footlong was happening back then.
That's like a whole horse armor. At this point, I got a pretty good grasp on how things went down. Though some spots are still unclear. Both of you seem to have done a ton of nosing around, right? Each one approaching it from his own dubious perspective. So I figured, hey, why not get both of you together to converge on something? Maybe if we put our stories together, we might be able to figure something out. Andrew nods through chewing and looking into the middle distance. He'd brought us into a section of the on-campus dorms where they must spend more on maintaining the lawns than the actual buildings. With the wind chill so strong this morning, each blade of grass is an ice shard poking right through my jeans and into my ass.
Spencer is a wordsmith.
We've been sitting for...
I mean, I don't know. He really saves all of his best material for his ass or balls. That's when he really is like, he is so in tune with those parts of his body on like a spiritual level.
We've been sitting for 5 minutes now, Ian in stunned silence, and Andrew responding just enough to keep me talking. It's registering in my brain that the only CG I have to use for a thumbnail so far is him jacking off.
People aren't gonna know. Just put the boy kisser meme in the right corner.
Can't imagine he's ever wanted Ian to hear any of this. Maybe he's still trying to figure out how to phrase himself out of saying too much.
Okay.
You started watching the cameras in the Jefferson building on January 2009, right? He swallows.
Where is he? There he is. It was February, right around the first wave of midterms. That's when we were asked to start monitoring both entrances to the basement. Security stopped showing up in the building a few days after that.
We were.
God damn it, I'm sorry.
You fool.
I know. The names are kind of relatively similar in color, but not really. But if I remember correctly, Professor Reed took us aside and proposed that we volunteer.
No, Andrew and Spencer's name codes are super similar.
Yeah.
And you just accepted it?
I did. It generally is a good idea to remain in good standing with your supervisors.
What'd you get out of it? They took the approach of having each person's name be the color of their fur, but their fur is almost the same color. But then Ian's name is the color of his eyes, and that would have distinguished everyone much better if they went with that rule for everyone.
Because Andrew would have just popped with like blue, like the cyan. Yeah, that's a lovely cyan too.
Beautiful. Like, can get lost in those eyes.
Uh-huh. None of us received any bonuses for it, if that's what you're asking.
You get paid?
He's a tutor out of college. That's minimum wage money right there.
I was a tutor at high school and no one paid me.
Oh, well, you fucking shouldn't have been a tutor then.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything of it at the time, of course. It's part of my job to deal with the miscellaneous.
None of us. Who's this us?
As mentioned, Professor Reed was also involved.
Who else?
Just us.
Did Reed look at the monitors? His nose wrinkles as he goes on in for a long bite. A big bite. Long bite would be scandalous.
Just,
You don't have to go that deep. Don't listen to him. Yes, you do.
This is how you really savor it.
That was a stupid fucking Happy Roadkill comic where somebody's handed a bong and he like starts like going down the stem because he doesn't know how to use it.
No.
So he's like making choking noises, and one guy's like, "You don't have to go that deep, dude." And the other guy's like, "Don't listen to him." Yes, you do.
There is not a doubt in my mind that I was being taken advantage of, Spencer. What are you trying to get me to say?
Nothing. Just trying to figure out when Fisher first showed up.
Careful with that name. Hold on. Who?
Nelson Fisher. I lower my voice for Andrew's sake. That's your ghost, the one who killed me.
Oh. He killed you?
That's the speaker that had gone missing the day of the murder. You were busy discovering my corpse at the time.
Was that it?
I motioned with my coffee at Andrew to continue.
Mr. Fisher was introduced to us late in February, if memory serves. Sad to say, it wasn't the greatest experience. Professor Reed and I have always had a rather rocky relationship. You'll excuse me if I'd rather not go into specifics, but both of them were slinging some fairly weighty threats my way. It was an inconvenience, but being forced to work a few extra hours each day unquestionably outweighed the notion of going against their wills. You understand, do you not?
More than you know. You neglected to mention that part last time, Andrew.
Got him.
Ian.
Yeah?
Anything interesting happened mid-February last year?
What kind of thing?
You know what kind of thing.
Oh. Nothing. Don't mind me. Well, no, I mean... Actually, nothing. Complete silence. That's what makes it unusual. You remember it, right?
Andrew nods through a dainty little sip of his faux frappuccino. What does that mean?
Damn,
what does that even mean?
Just ask him for a sip, you fucking envious fuck.
What's a faux frap?
Lloyd versus Gray, the Opera House fire, and the shooting on Murphy Avenue, those all happened within the span of a week. My group has been keeping watch, you know. There isn't any press around it anymore. No suspects, no leads, no nothing ever since then. Not to mention the car accidents. Remember the wear your seatbelt ads we used to get on TV? Ultimately, there had only been a couple of fatalities, but according to the record we had, car accidents more than tripled in 2008. Tripled! And then, just before Christmas, it all stopped. Just kind of like it went away. I don't remember there ever being a less eventful year for my entire life. Up until the murder, anyway. You with me?
I'm with you.
Well, yes, that is all true. Of course it is. Throughout the year, the only quote-unquote unusual happening was what I was seeing with my own eyes. Mr. Fisher would spend hours upon hours in the Jefferson Building basement every so often. Not much of a news story, however, that...
So there wasn't anything going on up until the murder.
Almost. One thing did change just before the academic year started. You began joining Mr. Fisher.
He motions with his head towards Ian while Ian is busy wiping sauce off the piece of wrapping paper. It's such a miracle Andrew rationalized all this weird shit in just the right way. In his shoes, I would have gotten frustrated with Ian's paranormal stuff and changed the subject or something. He did not have to give either of us the benefit of the doubt.
Come to think of it, here is a puzzle that we might be able to solve all together. I believe you two have touched on it earlier. You have met on the first day of the semester, haven't you? Yeah? It was also when I first met you, Spencer. In person, I mean, naturally. Brief as it were. So far, so good?
Yes, I think so.
Grand. I don't think you took notice, but I had been quite surprised to see, you, Spencer.
Because he already knew from the monitors?
Yeah. You see, mere moments beforehand, I had watched you walk into the basement. Whenever either of you or Mr. Fisher did so, it was quite long until you emerged, so I took the opportunity to attend the freshman orientation. Get to know everyone, welcomed you all to the Institute.
You left your post.
You've certainly gotten confident in throwing stones around your glass house. Yes, I left without telling anyone. In so many words. In either case, there you were, making a mess at the refreshments table. This may very well not be important, but for the sake of being thorough, did you happen to see... Since you were likely there at the same time as them, did you happen to run into... Please give me a moment.
He shuts his eyes for a moment to puzzle out how to phrase it.
Have you seen Professor Reed or Mr. Fisher or anyone else that's relevant? Where's the goat?
Afraid not.
Where's super furniture? Ah.
My brain went back to the Jurassic Park goat being missing.
That's a shame. No surprises there. How come? He's got a memory thing going on. A memory thing. He doesn't seem to remember anything before the murder. Of course. How could I forget? You just said so, hadn't you? You don't remember your orientation.
Gay.
Gay.
No, I do.
Bye.
Balls.
Balls. More balls. Then, if you're so sure you know your orientation, how do you feel about this? And he starts taking his pants off.
Zip.
Come on, Spencer. The booming sound as it slaps against the floor.
Just the audible thwump. I scratched the back of my ear with my half-empty cup. It isn't like telling him would make any difference. It's up to him to make sense of it with his own internal logic. Ian has proof that we'd gotten pretty close right after I met him. I don't remember any of that. I've never been in the basement until after the murder either. My first time had been just before you jumped me, on the day of the murder.
Let me see if I understand this correctly. You show up for orientation, but then don't attend any classes, and then 2 weeks into the semester, finally decide to make yourself known? Incidentally, after a student has been killed?
That's not what I said.
Yeah, he's been with me during orientation.
We were gay together, with our tongues.
Not at that point.
That's also not true.
They were gay apart.
I was there, and you were there, and we said our nice to meet yous to one another, but that was mostly it. Most of the night I was on my phone.
Is that true, Ian? It's not. Not from my perspective. I told you, he has a memory thing. You can check my phone if you want. I'm not the crazy one here for a change. For a change. And he's only been skipping morning classes, but that's just him being him.
Me being me.
Spencer.
What? Oh. So tired, cat. Unraveling this mess. Andrew slowly breathes in.
I'm grateful that you brought up that Ian had gotten close to David Johnson, but is there not anything you may recall that might be relevant to his death?
So Andrew is correctly identifying that this only makes sense if the person that Ian was friends with was actually David Johnson.
Yeah, no, Andrew just fucking nailed it. Like, he just basically synopsisized, like, the entire start of the story.
Because he's been investigating David Johnson's death this whole time with Kurt.
Yeah.
The person who knows that's a different person.
He's intelligent and pays attention and talks to people. Either of you. Anything at all?
I'm dead. I can't remember shit.
Ian?
Right. So, what happened next?
Where were we?
Why'd you leave your post?
Oh, where were we? I don't know. Whatever. That's right. A new face showed up that morning. Kurt Abrams.
Evening, but yes. We're constructing
if I
a
recall
timeline.
Correctly, Ian, you had talked to him before. Sort of, yeah, we have physics together on Fridays. Swell. At that point, Kurt and I already had a work relationship. Imagine my surprise when I saw him following David into the basement. After orientation, whenever David felt like paying the basement a visit, Kurt had been by his side more often than not.
Huh.
Have I finally managed to enlighten you on something?
Right, because this whole time the basement is where the door is to the bunker,
right.
And they kept going to the bunker together, and
but they need the keypad on the other side.
Yeah, and that's all their journeys they went together through there from the basement, which is why he then found us.
Yep, exactly.
I did come here to squeeze information out of him, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
He told me nothing. That came out a little more harsh than I had to. Damn. Had it under control for a moment there. I pushed my tongue against the roof of my mouth to stop my throat from closing up.
Unfortunate habit of his. Let's discuss it after I'm finished with my story. I'm just about done.
He wipes the corners of his lips with a paper napkin, folds it between his palms, and straightens up.
Shall we head back?
Finish your story!
On the day of the murder, Mr. Fisher, Kurt, and David all went into the basement multiple times. Most before I even got to my station. I discovered that by rewinding the tapes later that day. Notably, this was the first time I'd ever seen Kurt walk in all by himself. When he came out, he had you with him. The actual you, if you pardon my way of speaking, the Spencer that is with us right now. That is all. The day after the murder, Professor Reed absolved me of my monitoring duties.
So it's like that's when David went missing because of the murder, and Kate and Kurt was looking for him, so he went in alone to see if he could find him, and then he found us, and that was all the confusion.
Okay, yeah, and then Kurt's like trying to take Spencer back, because why the fuck wouldn't he? you know? I have not been to the camera room since.
He shakes his cup around. Miraculously, there's still a little bit of liquid left.
Like he's never seen a coffee before.
He's really fixated on it.
Yeah.
Every thought is so judgy.
Comments? Yeah, you keep drinking those iced lattes, you're gonna become a fat fuck, Andrew.
We walk in silence. My head is buzzing with thoughts.
Why the change of heart?
What do you mean?
You never cared about the David Johnson case. In fact, to me, it had always seemed like you were actively avoiding it.
Oh. Whatever. I'm dead. What have I got to lose?
Please be serious.
Ian's hand bangs against the lip of the trash can he was tossing his wrapper into.
Ow!
Ew. You touched it.
What? All right. Whatever your reasoning may be, it is obvious you are invested. How would you like to proceed from here? In case it was unclear, Kurt and I have been collaborating on this affair for quite some time. Yeah, that wasn't unclear. Would you perhaps be interested in joining us?
But like he doesn't remember the cabins, or he remembers us, everything except for us being there.
I thought he remembered the cabins and... Well, there's your fucking thumbnail.
Uh-huh. That's a dick.
Join you.
Join you.
Damn. Allow me to ask it in a different way. You had orchestrated a little demonstration for Ian and I believe you had gotten whatever you wanted out of it. What are your next steps? What's your plan?
My plan. Speak to Kurt, perhaps? Oops, that's not me.
Speak to Kurt, perhaps?
I'll speak to Kurt.
And afterwards? Try to find relevant articles online? Right. As you see, there might be some value to combining our efforts.
I can't.
Why not?
I don't know. All I want is to figure out what happened before it's too late.
What's too late? You truly are an enigma, Spencer.
He shakes his head in dramatic disbelief and turns to Ian.
I loathe that you had heard the things you'd heard today, Ian, and I truly regret that you had to have been involved at all. However, since it became clear that you have been close to the victim, perhaps you would be willing to answer a couple of questions? Sorry, Andrew. No can do. Why not? It's
because you wouldn't believe him.
I guess it's just a bit too much. Regrettable, but I understand. Sorry.
He turns back to me.
This may be in part wishful thinking, Spencer, but I'd like you to know that my offer does not expire. We need all the help we can get, and you have demonstrated that you are able. Do rendezvous with courage, French. By all means, I will be passing on to him everything that had been revealed today. And do attempt to be more trusting than... My eyes are getting tired. And do attempt to be more trusting with him than you are with me. He is the most invested in this case between us, and he has the most knowledge. He is your most realistic chance to get to whatever goal you are trying to achieve.
Whatever your bullshit is.
I wonder who carved which pumpkin. One
of
the right was the most effortful, so I think that's Spencer, but also this is barely effortful.
Well, the middle's right. The middle's Spencer because it's got the cock on it.
Yeah, okay. That is true. But I don't know.
And yeah, it might be that Ian did the generic one and that Andrew did the weird, difficult one.
I guess.
I was looking at it because I was like, how do you carve layers like that? Like, that's specific.
You need special tools. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, what the fuck?
You need specific, like, pumpkin carving tools to do stuff like that.
What is this nonsense? How did he do this?
Yeah. And it's just Parker being Parker.
This is a very interesting dilemma where you have three people with completely mutually exclusive understandings of what's happening. One person is
It is neat.
One person's understanding is basically like, I'm dead, everything I do will reset. The other person's like, this person's a ghost or is possessed or has like completely different supernatural understandings of things. And the other guy is just like still approaching as a normal investigation about David, which features zero supernatural things, and he has no, despite observing the bunker, he has no theory seemingly about the bunker being up to anything weird, like metaphysically. He's just thinks something factually happened. And so, like, Spencer's in the position where he can cross everyone's notes and try to put any of it together, but Ian and Andrew are just incompatible with each other. They can't talk about this because everything that Ian knows is stuff that he wants to be a secret from. Everything that Andrew knows, he wants to be a secret from Ian, and everything that Ian knows, Andrew would never care to listen to.
Yeah.
So it's just this wild,
so
crisscrossing mess.
Spencer's sort of, like, funneling information between them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I don't know where it's going, but this
Me neither.
Tonight had an arc for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess
it had cum in it.
There was cum tonight. Yup.
Oh, thank God.
Ball warming. Yup. We'll see if there's cum next episode.
I hope so.
Just the college experience.
It done did cum, it did.
See you next time.
So fucking wild. Bye.